athletes can finally get paid. Let's go! But hold up a minute. If you guys didn't know, which you must be living under a rock if you don't know, the Supreme Court has ruled that the NCAA must allow its student athletes to be able to make a profit off of their name, image, and likeness. So everything's all Gucci, right? Hey, players can start making some money now. Everything's all good now, right? No, it's not all right. As someone who has been covering high school and college sports for the past 5 years now, and before that when I was in school, every research paper that I did had to do something with the NCAA. This is such a small step. It is a step in the right direction, but it is so much smaller than I think you guys understand. That's why I titled this video What Nobody's Talking About, because I'm gonna talk about it. I mean, in the opening days of this ruling, we have seen big time moves. I mean, Master P's son signed a $2 million deal with some tech company. We got my boy Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma's quarterback, signed a ambassador deal with Raising Cane's, and DJ Uiagalelei, Clemson's new starting quarterback. He's out here, he signed some management deal or something nice like that. So we've been seeing these big time moves out here. However, how much freedom do these players really have over their name, image, and likeness when it comes to what they put out on the field? For example, and this is the biggest one that I have no idea how nobody has covered this yet. Okay, eventually, because college athletes have been some of the biggest sports stars over the past couple years. I mean, you got guys like Johnny Manziel, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Cam Newton, you name it, Derrick Henry. Like, there's been so many high profile athletes who've been balling out in college that they're gonna start getting some of these sports brands to sponsor them. Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, etc. Now tell me something, come here. What's gonna happen when one of these kids signs a Nike deal, but they go to an Under Armour or an Adidas school? Is that kid gonna be allowed to wear the Nike cleats and the Nike gloves and the Nike visor and the Nike towel, even though he's at an Adidas school? Or because the whole school's program is sponsored by Adidas, and especially if you wouldn't want your star player to be rocking another brand, so is the player going to be allowed to wear the brand? Oh, but now you're infringing on the player's ability to make money with his name, image, and likeness. You see where I'm getting at? Or what if a player wants to be sponsored by a brand that the NCAA doesn't agree with? For example, and this is a hypothetical, say there's a player who's balling out at USC, getting national attention and all that, and he goes and signs a little brand deal with Trojan condoms. You know, these USC Trojans, Trojan condoms. It's a match made in heaven. However, I don't know how the NCAA would feel about a player having that brand. They're not wearing it during the games, but during their post-game interviews, they're wearing a Trojan hat or just like little memorabilia here and there, and they're posting it all over their Instagram. Do you think that the NCAA would let that player be able to collect that money, or would their scholarship come into question? Oh, and if we're really talking about name, image, and likeness, NCAA, okay, what about all those jerseys that you sell? I know that there's no last name on it, but isn't it kind of weird how when Texas A&M had Johnny Manziel, they were selling a lot of number 2 Texas A&M jerseys? I mean, is that just a coincidence? This is what I'm trying to get you guys to see. The NCAA, first off, they had to have the Supreme Court get them to make this ruling. It wasn't like they were, oh, you know what? We see that we were wrong. They had to have the whole Supreme Court, the top dog, actually let the players benefit off of their name, image, and likeness. But then on top of that, they're not actually paying the players. Like, they're still a billion-dollar corporation that runs off of free labor, basically, but they still are not paying their actual players. They're just letting them make money outside of their jobs, which is crazy. And I really wanted to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So a couple of days ago, I put out a poll asking you guys, how much do you think that the average college football player will make in a year from their endorsements and brand deals? And you guys are way overestimating how much money these players are about to be making. Remember, I said average. I'm not talking about the star player who's gonna get the 6-figure, 7-figure deal while they're in college. I'm talking about the average guy who's a starter, gets quality playing time, but you know what? He's gonna be a day 3 draft pick, if not drafted at all. How much do you think that player is gonna make? So 43% of you said that you think that an average football player will be making somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a year from brand deals. And 34% of you guys said that they're gonna be making somewhere between 10K and up. It's not even close to that. Because you gotta remember, the NCAA didn't do anything for these players. All they did was just basically say, hey, you know what? We're gonna take the modern day slavery aspect out of this and let you make money off of your name, image, and likeness. Even though there's been plenty of kids in the business side of these schools starting a multi-million-dollar corporations while they're at the school, but there's never an issue with that. I'm telling you, the kid still has to go out and make a name for himself. So he has to ball out on the football field, keep his grades up so that he can continue to ball out while also going out there and making a presence for himself online. That's not easy to do. That's not easy to do all three of those things at the same time. I honestly believe that the average players could be making somewhere between $5,000 or less for an entire year off of brand deals. That ain't no change. $5,000 ain't nothing over a year. Another thing, what if you're making your videos on school property? That was a big thing that Destroying got in trouble for, because he was out there kicking field goals inside of UCF's indoor facility. What if you're making videos inside the locker room? What if you're making a lot of your content on school property? Are they gonna not allow you to make money off of that because it's not 100% your content? I'm not gonna keep on rambling about this. Yes, it is amazing that players can now start making money. I think that the top 5%, 10% of college players who are going to be making the big bucks, yes, this is amazing for them, because maybe they don't pan out in the NFL, they don't get that big NFL check, so they can get a solid check in college. That is amazing. But when it comes to the average player who is still making billions of dollars for these corporations that have zero to do, the NCAA does nothing. Absolutely nothing for college football players. They give them a shirt and they take them to some fancy little bowl game after all the work that they've done and said, all right, cool, thank you, we'll take our $1 billion TV revenue deal. Like, the NCAA has done absolutely nothing. Don't get it twisted. Keep on fighting for a consistent pay scale. The NCAA should be paying. When I'm talking about this, I'm only talking about men's basketball and football. I'm not talking about any other sport. Y'all don't make enough money to even be in this conversation. Don't get mad at me. Go get your money up, not your funny up. I ain't even gonna be mad at it. But yeah, I don't want this to be too long of a video. This is already probably pushing 10 minutes. So I just wanna let y'all know, hey, keep the fight up. We gotta get to the point where college athletes, again, men's basketball, college football, need to be paid a consistent amount. The idea that I've had is basically come up with some type of minimum wage, 10, 12 bucks an hour, however many mandatory hours that player has, that's what you pay them. Okay, so you got 3 hours of practice that's mandatory, you got 2 hours of film that's mandatory, you got an hour of PT that's mandatory. You add all that time up, you just run it through a normal hourly wage, still let them make money on the side, you have everything solved. You're making billions of dollars after paying nobody. You have plenty of money. The NCAA has plenty of money. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I hope that I was able to bring up a topic maybe you haven't thought of. I really want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. I want to hear if you guys think I'm crazy. Like, hey, basically we got enough. As long as players can make their money off the side, they'll be good. Or do you think that, yeah, Marcus, you're right, players need to be getting a consistent pay scale, because you know what, the best players are gonna be making all the money and the worst player and the average players are gonna be really making no money. So I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Be sure to leave this video a like. I love and appreciate all y'all, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.